My name is Ambrociah Samboko. I come from a nuclear family, actually. I'm the eldest daughter at home. I have 3 sisters and 1 brother. And I got married in 2015 to my husband. I've known my husband since grade 6, so we've been friends for a very long time. That is I grew up in PHIKWE. It's a town here in Botswana, and it's most famous for copper nickel. So I went to school in Botswana up until my tertiary, where I did it in Zimbabwe, a neighboring country here in Botswana, in Africa, actually. So yes, that's basically me, my childhood up until now. And then I studied diploma in human resource development, but my passion has always been in farming. I've always been a farm girl. So that is what I'm currently pursuing. I'm a farmer. I own an agricultural company here in Botswana that sells agricultural products, feed, equipment, focusing mainly on piggery and chickens at the moment. So it's a poultry shop, just to sum it up. Botswana is known for its peacefulness. We are a peaceful country. We are loving and welcoming to all our tourists. Botswana is also known as one of the biggest or one of the best tourist destinations in Africa. We have the Big Five, we have the Makgadikgadi Pans, we have the Delta, Botswana is also known just this past year, though we were hit by COVID, we had a little glimpse of happiness or a little glimpse of hope that we received from Jwaneng Mine and mines here in Botswana, whereby we mined the second largest diamond in the world. And I must say that was like a little bit of hope. We're losing our friends, our family members, and comes this diamond, the biggest in the world. And it gave us hope. It gave us that light that we needed to push us, that light that we always say it's at the end of the tunnel. That's the light that we got. And that's what we named the diamond. It was called Lesedi la Rona, which means our light in English. That is Botswana, and we are currently looking into becoming self-sufficient, and it's one of those things that gets me running and happy, because they're speaking about the sector that is close to my heart, my passion, agriculture. So yes, that's Botswana, a peaceful, beautiful tourist destination which mines one of the largest diamonds in the world. Mrs. Botswana here advocates for healthy, happy marriages. And amidst the current divorces, the passion killings that are going on in the world, I felt that it was a cause that I should surround myself with, or I should join, because at the end of the day, our kids, our family members, it's all about us being happy and us living together peacefully. So I joined Mrs. Botswana because of this motto that they stand by, or they run with, for healthy, happy marriages. Mrs. Botswana is organized by a married lady. Her name is Khalalelo Lesetedi. She is the founder and the brains behind it, and she's a very hands-on woman. So yes, that's my beautiful director there. And she started this organization 5 years ago. She started this pageant 5 years ago. So this last year, I felt it was very necessary for me to enter, because, being a wife, being a a working mother, you kind of like lose yourself in the whole process of becoming a mother, becoming a wife. So I felt the need to join Mrs. Botswana to rediscover who I was, who I am as Ambrocia, as a mother, as a sister, as a mother, as a daughter-in-law, and as a wife. So, you know, we women, we generally just kind of like forget to take care of ourselves sometimes. So I wanted to be that ray of hope to a married woman, that you can be a mother, you can be a wife, you can be a working woman, independent, changing the world, changing the narrative that farming is only for men, you know, and still look beautiful. So that's why I joined Mrs. Botswana. It also has projects that we did, starting from auditions. When we auditioned, we were 30. So we all made it into the top 30. From there, we had our semi-finals in the form of a fashion show. Now, at the fashion show, that's where we got trimmed down to 14. Yes. And at the fashion show, you were supposed to let people know, who are you? So I wore a dress, a yellow dress that had a big cow at the back to tell people I am a farmer. I look beautiful. I look amazing. But at the end of the day, my passion is farming, and that's what I do. And it shouldn't stop me from being anything else that I wish to be or stand for. So that was in September. And then in October, on the 30th, I was crowned Mrs. Botswana alongside other lovely women. My first princess and my first princess, Mrs. Kwelo and Mrs. One Segodwe. So as part of being a queen, I continued with my social causes, and I am more into gender-based violence and child protection, because in Botswana, when the pandemic struck, we realized a lot of cases about gender-based violence and child negligence, and I felt that it was very important that I raise awareness about these issues, that people could know where to get help, what they can do, and how they can get out of those situations. And it's been a really big eye-opener for me as well, because I learn throughout this journey. Every single day I meet different victims, different people, different personalities, and in turn I have to be able to know how to adapt and be able to talk with all these different people and show them that I am with you, I care, and I love you. Irregardless of what you've gone through, you need to know that you are still worth it, and you are loved, and you can still be the woman that you want to be and still follow your dreams. So it's been a beautiful journey. I'm doing a lot with different organizations, different charities, and the government is also helping where it can. And it's just a beautiful initiative, and I'm continuing with it. And because I believe that gender-based violence is a worldwide issue that we need to make sure that each and every woman in the world knows it is not their fault. They can still be somebody. That the same little girl when we were young used to dream, you wanted to become a doctor, you wanted to be this. And gender-based violence happens all over, at schools, at home, at the workplace. So we need that assurance that we need to give to those girls, that you still can be who you wanted to be, and your dreams are valid always, no matter the situations or circumstances that you face. So it's a very close issue that when I start talking about it, I just keep talking about it. But yes, that is what I'm doing. That is what I'll continue doing up until I see a change in the narrative, that the victims should not be oppressed. They need to speak about it. And we should start from grassroots. We need to teach our boy child how to look after a woman, how to speak to a woman, how to behave around a woman. Because most of the time, yes, it happens to boy children, but it happens to the girl child more. So we need to speak to the perpetrators. We need to understand what is going on with them for them to commit such crimes. So up until I see that there is a change, I think I'll be advocating about gender-based violence and child protection for a very long time. um, Yes, I got crowned Mrs. Botswana, and I'm very happy about that. And I'll be continuing my journey to Mrs. Universe, which will be held in South Korea this year. So the reason behind me continuing with this journey is because even at Mrs. Universe, they are advocating for gender-based violence. And it is one of those causes that it does happen in Botswana, but it happens the whole world. Now imagine if I could be able to help women all over the country, all over the universe, all over the world to stand up, to take up space and know that their dreams are valid always. And the narrative of them being the victim and always being pressurized in not speaking out is not supposed to dictate who they are. So that is why I'm continuing with my journey, because I want to be a voice to the voiceless. I want to be a beacon of hope for that girl in Zimbabwe, for that woman in Australia who says, I'm married, I'm in an abusive relationship. What can I do? I can't leave. I am here to say it is okay to feel sad. It is okay to go through whatever it is you're going through, but it is not okay to stay there. It is not okay to let it define who you are. The past happened and we can't change it, but we are the architect of our lives, and it is within us. It is our sole duty that we build it however we want, in accordance with how we wish to live. And your past is not supposed to define or pave way for what happened. Your future and your story is up to you. And as Mrs. Universe, that is what I want my message to be. Your dreams are valid always, irregardless of the circumstances you faced in the past. We can do it and we will do it together. And that is why I will be representing my beautiful country, Botswana, as Mrs. Botswana Universe at Miss Universe, Mrs. Universe in South Korea this year. Korea. In this year in April, from the 11th till the 23rd of April. Now, as part of the Mrs. Universe journey, there are 3 rounds. There is the national costume, which I've been preparing, and I believe it will represent my country to the best of my capability, because I wanted to show each and every aspect of my country, and for people to know that, yes, we are peaceful, but we have a diverse tourism and diverse economy, that people can come here, become investors, and stay in our beautiful country. And we also have a round whereby I'll be sharing my gender-based violence presentation with the judges and other panel and other contestants. The contestants are supposed to be around 120, and I believe that I'll be making sisters. I'll be getting to interact and socialize with women from all over the globe and know what they're going through, how they are doing this whole life thing, and how we can become sisters and work together in future for the betterment of each other as women, as mothers, as wives, and as businesswomen. Then the last round will be the finale night, and I pray to God that is where I'll be able to wear the crown. But you know, it is all about connecting with women all over the country, learning different cultures, learning different ways on how they are doing, on how I'm doing, how we can come together as women and change the narrative, and become policymakers, make a change, make a difference in our different countries and in our universe, in our world. Now, preparing for Mrs. Universe has been, wow, it has been a beautiful experience. I get to meet different women here in my country. I have a personal trainer who's training me on my walks, on my body. I have a fitness trainer as well. I've been given a sponsorship with Curves Gym here in Botswana. It's a gym that is dedicated to women. It is strictly just women that get to exercise at the gym. So I've been given a sponsorship throughout my whole reign to be Mrs. Botswana and taking care of my body. My trainer for the pageant walks, on how to sit, on how to speak, is the beautiful Miss Botswana 2018-2019, Nicole. And she's been doing an amazing job. I'm learning poses, the teas, and I believe I'll walk with confidence on the Mrs. Universe stage to show people that we are graceful, we are loving, and most importantly, we are beautiful inside and out. And yes, that is my journey. I have a skin routine that I'm working on. I've been just recently went to get my IV drip, the glow, so that I can glow and the world can see my beautiful skin. Yes, and I've also partnered up with Clicks Botswana. It's a retail shop, and they are taking care of my skin and my makeup that I'm using, getting ready in preparation for Mrs. Universe. Now, becoming Mrs. Botswana has been a life-changing event that I'm very grateful for. Now, if I tell you that before all this, I was just a simple wife who wore her tracksuits, I'd look the part here and there, but now being Mrs. Botswana, most of the time, my friends tell me most of the time I look beautiful. I take care of my skin, I have changed. Now, this change is all in a positive way. In the beginning, I didn't really worry much about what I was eating, how I was eating, and after becoming Mrs. Botswana, I now know what I should eat. I'm eating healthier, which in turn means my family is eating healthier, my kids are eating healthier, and most importantly, my husband is eating healthier, even though they don't like it. But because of Mrs. Botswana, we are a healthy family now. We have our regular doctor's appointments. In the beginning, we'd only go to the doctor where something was wrong. But now we are learning that we shouldn't wait for something to be wrong for us to visit the doctor. We should take our health very seriously. And we are doing the doctor's visits, we're doing dental appointments, and we're really taking care of our bodies, our minds, being in the eye of the whole country is it gets back to you in the little things, on Facebook, on Instagram. So I needed to prepare myself, and I needed to make sure that I am okay mentally so that I am able to face things that I face on Facebook and on the journey of being Mrs. Botswana. When you meet these victims, when you meet certain people, they tell you their way of life, and you have to be able to know that I have to handle this in a certain way. Now, the old Ambrocia would be crying all the time. So now, I get like a mental coach and a health coach as well to tell me that, okay, in such instances, you need to be able to do this. You need to be able to behave like this. In such emotions, you go about them this way, you deal with them this way. So being Mrs. Botswana, I am learning. and I'm growing. And it's beautiful because I get to learn and grow with my husband and with my kids, because in turn, I teach my children that they have to be able to speak for themselves, but not be rude. And I'm teaching them how to be, because I'm raising 2 boys. So they need to know how to take care of a woman. You know, they need to know how to respect and speak to a woman. So I believe my boys are doing really well, including their father, because, you know, as I learn, I take them with me. On some projects, my husband is with me. He's there. He's also learning how to speak, you know. He's a very shy person, but I think after becoming Mrs. Botswana, our friends can attest, he's very vocal these days. You know, he's speaking. And the beautiful part is he is my support system. In everything that I do, I'm with him. You know, this has kind of brought us together. We're rediscovering ourselves as a married couple as well, because I'm now in the limelight. That means he comes with me. And it is very amazing because so far, so good. We are doing very well. And he's helping me. He's helping me in doing all these projects, and he's on board 100%. And I believe we are also changing the narrative in marriages, that it's not only about the wife, but if we work together as husband and wife, we get to see the beauty, we get to enjoy each other's growth. And it's a beautiful thing to experience together, because the support is each other. And, you know, it's kind of like going back to our dating days, whereby I would go for date nights now. Because of my busy schedule, now we've incorporated date nights, we're incorporating movie nights. So it's a beautiful experience, and Mrs. Botswana is helping me, and in turn, I'm helping other couples, you know, because the couples around us are seeing this change in us, and they love it, and they want to also adapt it. So we are standing by our motto for healthy, happy marriages. In a nutshell, I would say the beauty queen in me is changing me, and I'm doing a lot more for myself as a person, and I'm doing a whole lot more for my country. So the beauty pageant has really helped me become a more responsible and more aware person than I was before. And I really love the change, because it's not only benefiting me, it's benefiting my beautiful people here in Botswana. And I believe as a country, we see the change that needs to be done. And it's just beautiful. When I started my project, I wanted to show, especially the kids. So I started with the child protection, and I started with the education system. So I saw that there was a lack of motivation in the children here. So I started off in a small village called Mandunyani. That is where my husband comes from. So I started off with just buying school bags for the kids. You know, the primary school didn't have like an A. So it was an occasional once in a while. So I went to the school, I gave the children bags, and I told them, all those that get an A will get a school bag. It's beautiful, because at the end of the exams, there were 8 A's. And so I had to buy more bags. So after that, for the final exam, the teachers called me and told me, thank you so much for what you've done, because in the beginning we had 8 A's, but at the end of the final exam, they had 17 A's. So you can imagine what a little motivation can do for a child. A small thing like a bag can mean so much to them. And I believe that was the beginning of a partnership. So I've partnered up with 5 schools where I'll be donating school bags every single term as a motivation for the children in the Tonota region. It's a region here in Botswana. It's a village and has small villages. So I believe once we take that off and we see, I'll be able to bring more stakeholders and shareholders to come and help me in this endeavor, so that we can reach the whole of Botswana and more kids all over the world, if it permits. I also have been working with Clicks Botswana. As I mentioned earlier, it's a retail shop. So what happened with Clicks was we started donating sanitary pads to different schools, to different charity organizations, because sanitary pads are a necessity for a girl child. It is not something that we choose. It is something that happens to us. It is nature. So in some parts of the country, having access to them is very, very futile. We don't even have shops in some parts of the country. So we partnered up with Clicks, and we were donating to different regions, different villages, different societies, sanitary pads with Clicks. And I'm very pleased to announce that we will be continuing that exercise throughout this year as well. I've also partnered up with road safety ambassadors. Just yesterday, we had our sponsored Walk for Love Africa, which had 14 other countries in Africa participating in the Walk for Love. Now, this one is about saying thank you to our drivers, everyone. I believe when I started, I said Botswana is a landlocked country. So when the borders were closed for COVID, we realized a lot of things, because most of our trade comes from Western countries. So the Walk for Love was to sensitize our policymakers that it is time for us as Africans to trade within Africa and be able to sustain ourselves. So that's why we had the Walk of Love, and it is in partnership with Society Road Ambassadors. And we'll be having a lot of projects that are coming in this year together with the Society of Roads to sensitize, because in Botswana, we lose around 450 people a year to road accidents. Now, that's in Botswana, it also takes around 500 people to make a village. So if we're losing 450, that means we're losing a village every single year. And we are not a lot in Botswana. We're 2.2 million. So imagine us losing a village every single year. It's something that we cannot allow, because we are only 2 million. So we need to preserve a lot of our lives here in Botswana. So that's why I partnered up with road safety and road ambassadors, because it is very important to talk to our drivers. Do not drink and drive, rest, make the right choices and decisions on the road to preserve and save a family and save a life, because most of these people that are dying, it's as a result that most of them are breadwinners. Now imagine if we're going to be losing 450 breadwinners in a year. How many orphans, how many destitutes does the government need to support? And I've also been working with a group of people that just came on board. Were like, Mrs. Botswana, we love what we're doing. We don't have an NGO. We don't have any activities that we're doing, but we do have the time. Some have the money, some have the time, and they're like, we would like to volunteer. So in Botswana, it's called Huitaupa. So we call them the volunteers, but in Botswana, we call them Baitaupi. So it's beautiful what we've been doing. We've been buying school uniforms for school kids. We've been buying stationery. We've been buying food. We've been helping those who've been affected by the job loss because of COVID-19. A lot of people here in Botswana lost their jobs because the lockdowns were imposed on us, and some, like street vendors, lost their businesses and they couldn't provide for their children. So through the group of the volunteers, we were able to help such families. And it's been just a beautiful, beautiful partnership with all these with all these groups, and it's beautiful because more and more partnerships are coming. I cannot disclose them yet because we're still in the talks, but I can promise you they are going to be bigger, better, and they're going to be able to help an ordinary Botswana girl, an ordinary Botswana woman, an ordinary Botswana. It's not, we're not only focusing on the men, on the children, on the women and the girl child. We're also focusing on the men. So it is going to benefit Botswana in general. And I believe that it is going to be something that we are going to be super proud of at the end of my reign. And I can promise them that even at the end of my reign, I will continue doing this, because there is only one Mrs. Botswana 2021, 2022, and that is me. And this is what I love doing. So all these charities are things that I do, but my main focus, I work with gender-based violence and child protection, because that is a cause that I hold dearly, dearly to my heart, and I believe needs more voices to raise its awareness as well. So, though I'm working with the gender-based violence, I also raise money to buy food for the underprivileged, buy uniforms for the underprivileged, and it has bared fruits that are going to amaze us one day, whereby a child will say, I got a bag from Mrs. Botswana and today I'm a doctor. I was able to study without having to feel any awkwardness or being bullied for my situation. I got clothes. So yes, we are doing that as well here at Mrs. Botswana. We are raising money to help these kids change the narrative of their lives. In 2008, the government of Botswana passed a domestic act, volume number 10, in order to protect women who are in domestic relationships. And this act was to seek to provide survivors of domestic violence with protection. Now, when the lockdown happened, as I mentioned earlier, we saw a high rise, a spike in domestic violence issues. And we saw women losing their lives. We saw the girl child becoming helpless. So the reason why I took on this was to bring back the dignity of the woman. It's close to my heart because when I was a child, I didn't have to think of being raped or being molested or being killed. And it's heartbreaking that our kids nowadays live in fear. They are angry because now they have to live with the fear that they can be raped, they can be molested at any given time, and they don't know who is going to provide that safety net for them, because we see that most of these cases are done by fathers, stepfathers, uncles, neighbors. And it pains me because I grew up a free child. I grew up a happy child, and I didn't even have to think of all these things, and because of this, I don't think it is acceptable that we have to raise our girl children in fear of what might happen to them, because 3 out of 10 women in Botswana have experienced violence or abuse. Now, imagine if we were supposed to raise a nation with so much fear. What would we accomplish as women in Botswana? What would we accomplish as women in the world? Because we are subjected to living in fear, because we are afraid if we are to dress like this, if we are to live a certain lifestyle, we are subjected to rape, we are subjected to bullying, we are subjected to all sorts of negativity, because it's what the life or the world we live in. So it's a cause close to my heart, because I have nieces. I am a daughter. I am a wife. And I do not need, or I do not want my nieces to grow up with this fear. I do not want them to grow up with limitations. I don't want to live in a world whereby I fear for my life every single day when I'm with my husband, I'm with my brother, I'm with my uncle. My sons shouldn't live like that. It may happen to girls most of the time, but we are seeing that even the boy child is experiencing such abuse. But because of society, we hide such instances or such acts because we are afraid of what society will say. It is high time that we spoke about this and not feel ashamed. It's high time that we take back control over our lives, over our society. We as women make up the society. So why can we not voice out our concerns or our perspectives, because we are part of society? So I am doing this because I want the girl child, I want women to regain their dignity. I want them to have a say. I want them to become policymakers. Gender-based violence affects me as a mother. I, in turn, inject my fears, inject my perceptions into my kids. So the moment I do that, they take it to school. Now, if my kids are in an environment whereby their mother is being abused verbally or emotionally or physically, when they get to school, because they can't protect me or because they think what their father doing to me is correct, they in turn inflict pain on other children. Now, that comes back as bullying. We cannot have a society filled with anger and hatred towards each other. So we need to fix it now. A mother is the community, because a mother shares love, a mother shares hope. You know, let's take, for instance, a man comes back from prison. He goes back to his mother's house. It always goes back to the mother, because he has no place to go. Maybe the wife left him, maybe the girlfriend left him, or maybe he didn't have a place to stay at all. And after committing this crime, he now has nowhere to go. And the first person he thinks of, God willing they are alive, is his mother. So everything that we do, we may think, no, but the actual truth, it always goes back to the mother. The mother is the cornerstone. The mother is the foundation. And we need to make sure that our mothers, our women, our girl child are okay to be these pillars in society. Because if they are not okay, then the society is not okay. So we need for them to be okay. So that is why I hold this cause very dearly to my heart, because we need to make sure that the mothers and the girl children have their dignity. We're fighting for them. We are raising our voices for them, so that we know that we have a peaceful, a respectful, and a happy society in future. Um, Unemployment. We are experiencing a high levels than we've ever had in Botswana of unemployment, especially of the youth. Now, I would talk to our world leaders, because they are the policymakers and they need to make a change. Our youth are equipped. We are living in a technological era, so we need to use that to our advantage. The youth are more diverse. The youth think outside the box. So I think we need to create platforms where our youth can shine, our youth can talk about their ideas without being held back. Now, our world leaders need to understand that we as the youth think differently, and we as the youth have ways we do things. So in order for them to harness our potential, our intelligence, they need to create platforms whereby they sit down and interact with the youth to know what is going on, because we are facing a lot of suicide deaths in our country. We are facing a lot of passion killings because some youth feel they're not worthy of love. They're not worthy of living, because some have been looking for jobs for 10 years, some for 5. And it takes a toll on somebody's mental health to look for a job and wait for so many years. Now, our world leaders need to take into consideration. We are the leaders of tomorrow. Leaders are not mentally stable. If our leaders are not happy, what are we saying? What kind of a world are we preparing our children to live in? So they need to start looking into this issue of unemployment and listen. It is very important to listen to us as youth, voice out our opinions, our strategies. Are world leaders. They are there to guide us. They are like our parents. When a child needs a guidance and they want to do something, it's usually the parent that comes in and shields them from the unknown, or they guide them to a better future. So we need our world leaders to listen to us as youth, to come and sit down with us. Especially here in Botswana, we have a lot of youth with so much to give, but don't have the platforms to listen or hear them out or give them the support that they need. Because I believe if youth, because unemployment isn't only in Botswana, it is something that is affecting almost the whole world, Africa, and we need to sit down and think of ways we can get the youth involved, get the world leaders inside, and figure out on ways and what we can do to help our youth. And I believe it would be a beautiful, beautiful time to be alive, to see youth flourish and create employment for other youth. And I believe the farming sector is going to be the best part. Now, when it comes to Africa, there's a lot of issues, but I think the ones that stick out, may I begin with saying, in Africa, we are smart. In Africa, we have it all. We just need the help or the aid to bring out the best of our abilities. In Africa, I must say, we have brilliant, brilliant people with brilliant minds. And with the help of, or with the aid in helping us be able to bring out the best of our abilities, I believe through investments, through charity organizations or stakeholders or investors coming into Africa as a whole, helping us. Now, it's important that they understand that they need to help us. They need to meet us halfway for us to be able to stand on our own feet as Africans, to be able to provide for ourselves in Africa. I believe when I started, I said I was yesterday on a walk for love for Africa. They need to help us as Africans be able to intertrade as Africans and teach us how it's best to do it. Now, we've tried it on our own, we've failed here and there, but we are developing countries, some are developed, but with the help, with the right set of skills, I believe as Africans we'll be able to sustain ourselves and become countries that can be able to generate better economies for its citizens. Now, if you look at the the way COVID has affected us. I think it brought us all to thinking out of the box. And I believe here in Botswana, we did a lot of thinking. And, the Walk for Love, as I said, is a Pan-Africa movement. Now imagine all 14 countries were able to come together. 14 African countries were able to come together and do this walk. And it was commendable, because it shows that we just need the right push in the right direction, and we could do so much here in Africa. So I would encourage investors and stakeholders to come to Africa. We have a lot to offer. Now, diamonds are found in Africa. The largest diamonds are found in Africa, Botswana per se. Cocoa is found in Africa, taken out of Africa, manufactured in other countries, then sold back to us here in Africa. Now imagine cotton. There is a lot that Africa can do for the world. And I just think we just need to sit down. We need to listen to each other, and we need to understand each other, and we need to help each other in order for all of us to benefit from the beauty of Africa. Can I say? We are a people that have done the unexpected. We've had men on the moon. We've visited different planets, seen the universe, and we are a people that are so passionate. When COVID hit, I think in a few months we were able to find a vaccine, and we're helping everyone. But the fact that our children, our women, are still not protected, they are still abused. The fact that we are actually talking about gender-based and child protection, gender-based violence, it shows that laws are not there that are really there they're not there to protect our women and children. These laws need to be readdressed. They need to be changed to protect women and children, because as of now, it's not the way I would have hoped it to be. The law is trying, but it is not trying enough. As a determined people, as we are as a world, I think a little more push towards this gender-based violence, and we might just be able to protect our girl child and our women. But up until then, there is a lot that needs to be done, and I believe it will be done. As Black women have faced in the past, I believe the narrative is changing. We are seeing Black women in beauty pageants on large platforms, and they are doing the most of it. Now, in the past, it was a challenge for them. It was a challenge for us, I should say. But I think times are changing, and people are beginning to see the beauty that we have to offer as Black women. Now, in Botswana, we've been very blessed. We had Miss Universe back in 1999, as the queen. And I believe she is one of the women that gave Black women, especially here in the country, a glimpse that it is possible, and a girl from here in Botswana can be Mrs. Universe. I believe that's when most of us started our pageantry here in the country, and we saw that it was something that was possible, that can be done. And over the years, we've seen Botswana was also blessed with Miss Nokia Face of Africa, GAONE. She's doing very well. We saw her on billboards. I remember as a child, I was like, I want to be on a billboard one day too, and I'm going to do it because she can do it. I can do it. These women gave us the I can do it spirit. And maybe for some years that spirit was lost through the changing of the pageantry world, and we saw it diversifying, going there and here, that we kind of like forgot. But in 2019, I believe Zozibini resurrected each and every girl's dreams and hopes that it is possible and we can do it. And pageantry isn't all about the looks. We are seeing it as these days evolving. We have rounds and we are questioned. We are seeing the pageantry world grow to show the beautiful diversity of each country through the national costumes. And it's a beautiful thing, now that it's giving us a platform whereby I believe we still can do a lot more. But for now, I have to say it is a beautiful thing to watch. It's a great time to be alive, to see Black women take up space and change the narrative from what it was before. And I believe because of the women before us, it was stepping stones, and we only need just to reach to the top and show Black children and Black girls, Black women, that it is possible. We are queens and we have every right to be on international pageantry platforms, and we can make a difference, and we are the difference we need to be at this time. My philosophy in life is, my mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with compassion, passion, and some humor and style. I think during the pageant, the finale night at Mrs. Botswana, we were asked, the final question was, what is your motto in life, or what are your values in life? And this is a value that I live by. Everybody that knows me knows I live by this. And it has to be kindness. You have to be kind to each and every single person, because you never know what that person is going through. And your positivity, your smile, your humor, your hello, it's going to be okay could just be what that person needs to get through whatever they're going through. So we have to be kind. I think it has to be a necessity that everybody has to be kind, because kindness goes a very long way. Wow. It would have to be my father. My father is a very passionate man. He's very kind, Unfortunately, he suffered a stroke in 2017, but before that, he would help each and every person who would come to him for help, whether a family member, a friend, a total stranger. And I think I got that piece of him with me, and it has molded me into the person that I am today. So my father is my role model, because he's strict, but yet gentle and kind and warm at the same time. So you don't want to get on his bad side, but if he's not in the heat, he's warm, fun, and I think that's who I take after my dad. And my father's name is Koagile Batlang, and I have to say, the Ambrocia you see here today is a reflection of Mr. Batlang. I am my father's daughter. To empower other women and the girl child. That is something that I will stand for, I think, for a very long time. And my mission is to help these women and girl child to take up space and follow their dreams. There is nothing more than to see a young girl achieve her dreams and live them out to be the best that they could be, and bring change about somebody else's life. And my vision is to see these women and girls grow and realize their potential, their goals, their dreams, and create opportunities for other women and children and girls. I once watched a movie whereby the gentleman said, instead of saying thank you, help 3 more people, and in turn asked them to not receive the thank you, but help 3 more people. Now, if all of us could do that, we would be able to help and achieve each other's goals, help being a pillar of strength for other people in our lives.